Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Travel and Tourism Podcast, my first season. My guest today comes from Ottawa, Canada. She did about 6 different seasons in Club Med, starting with Punta Cana in September of 1998 as a hostess geo. She's had a few nicknames over the years. One was started with Hurricane, but she's got some story about why she was called a hurricane. Okay, because she had, I guess, the luck or the unluck to be in a resort with 2 hurricanes, and those are never fun. But she's going to tell us all about it. So, without further ado, please help me welcome Anna Ferdinand. Hey, Anna, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Before we start, usually I like people to tell me, like, to go back in time to what they were doing. You know, were you working? Were you going to school?
Mhm.
And how did you find out about Club Med? So before Club Med, what were you doing?
So before Club Med, I had graduated high school in 1996, I think it was. So I started fairly young with Club Med, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do when I grew up. So I was working in retail downtown Ottawa. And just looking to travel, but I just didn't know what to do or where to start. Yeah, so I
Well, okay. So
yeah.
how did you find out about Club Med? Did you see an ad in a paper or on TV?
Yeah, so surprisingly, I can't remember what the company was called, but there was a local company that had addresses to all of these different cruise lines, and then Club Med was in there as well as, I think, the only resort. I think otherwise they were cruises. And the idea was that you go in, you provide your resume, and this company would sort of suit you to who they thought might be a good pairing for you for travel jobs. And Club Med got back to me, and I started studying it before I went to the interview in Montreal. So it was very happy luck that we
So
found each other.
how long from the moment that sent your resume did you hear from Club Med? Was it weeks or months?
I think it was maybe maybe a couple of months. I
Okay.
I think, yeah.
So you drive down to Montreal for your interview?
I did, and it was in a big, I think it was in one of the big hotel conference center areas, conference rooms, and there were crowds of people. It was, I had no idea what I was walking into. It was a really interesting experience for
Did they
sure.
make you do anything different in this interview, like go on stage or tell jokes?
I think I had to do a cartwheel actually.
Like,
I don't know why I told them I can cartwheel. So I did a cartwheel and I sang happy birthday standing on a chair.
okay.
Yeah.
Which I guess, yeah, okay. Which I guess we wind up singing "Happy Birthday" to a lot of GMs in Club Med later on, right? So,
I did. I actually had there was one guest whose husband, I think, had said, "You remind me of Marilyn Monroe." So it was his birthday, and she asked that I sing him "Happy Birthday, Mr. President."
did you
Um,
did you sing it exactly like she did, nice
I
and slow?
I think so. Yeah, I ended up
Okay,
doing that a few times in my Club Med career.
okay, all right. Let's go. We'll get there. Let's go back.
Yeah.
So now, did you leave the interview thinking you were going to get called?
So, that's funny because they said to me, okay, we're going to call you and put you in a village as soon as something comes up, but there won't be a lot of notice. And I thought, okay. And I remember going home and thinking, I wonder if I actually got the job. This doesn't seem, how long do I wait? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next because it
Yeah,
wasn't immediate.
that's exactly how I left my interview.
Yeah.
Thinking, did they give it to me or did they not give it to me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
just
going on?
like you. And then one day I assume you get a call and they tell you you're going to Punta Cana and you're like, where's that?
Exactly, exactly. That's pretty much it. I think they called me on a Thursday. They sent my tickets by FedEx on a Friday and I left on a Sunday.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, it was a It was crazy.
And so you never knew anyone before that worked for Club Med. You had never been to a Club Med, correct?
That's right. Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't.
So you didn't know what you were walking into.
I had no idea. I had no idea at all.
All right. Now, did you tell them basically like I'll do any job, or did you ask to be a hostess, or they just put you there?
They just put me there. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I probably suggested I would do pretty much any job. I was just so intrigued. But yeah, hostessing it was.
Okay. Now, do you recall arriving that first your first day to the resort?
Oh, yes, I do. I arrived and it was already dark. It was nightfall. And it was my first time going into the Caribbean. I'd only been to the UK and, parts of America prior to that. So it was shocking. The airport, the little Punta Cana airport at the time, and a Wawa, the little mini bus was there to pick me up. And I remember some geos clapping during the arrival and being given the welcome cocktail and thinking, wow, do they do this for me? Or is this for everybody? I had no idea. And it was wonderful. It was really exciting.
Okay. Now, before we go on, in case my listeners are wondering, I'm detecting a slight accent from you, and it doesn't sound like an Ottawa accent, unless is your accent from Ottawa?
Yes, well, yes, I am from Ottawa. I also lived, besides after working for Club Med, I spent a number of years in the Dominican Republic. Actually, I went back, not to Club Med, and in the UK, but my background is also Welsh.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Now, you weren't at Punta Cana very long, right? Something happened, right?
Something came up.
What happened?
Hurricane George happened.
Oh,
This was, I think I'd been there for 1 week, and all of a sudden we were preparing everything for this hurricane, and I remember the night that the hurricane was set to hit, our chief of village was saying, nobody be a hero. Don't be a hero. Stay inside. Stay in your rooms. And my then roommate and she managed to take a cake from the restaurant and a bottle of wine, and we sat in our shower and, and
did
waited
you?
it out.
Okay. The water wasn't running, right? I
No,
mean,
oh gosh, no,
okay,
no, no, no.
okay, okay. Hey, no judgment here.
We had enough outside.
Okay, who was your chief at the time in '98?
Oh my gosh, I don't recall
Okay, well, you're
his
only really there two
name.
weeks, right?
Yeah, not long
Okay,
enough to remember. Yeah.
okay. Now, did you guys eat all that cake and drink that whole bottle? Because usually hurricanes last a long time,
That's
right?
the way
So
I think we did actually.
okay,
It took I was stress eating, Greg.
okay,
Like
yeah.
we could hear the washers and dryers in the laundry room close to us, and oh, it was
Wait a
crazy.
minute, Geos were doing their laundry during a
Oh
hurricane?
no, they were banging against the walls.
Oh, okay,
Everything
okay.
was moving. It was yeah.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So safe to say this hurricane passed over the village then, right?
It did. Yeah, it really took a piece of the village with us. I think Julio Iglesias's roof was on our lawn.
Oh boy.
I don't know
Okay.
if somebody was making that up because I was
Well, he does. I know he does live close by, right? I mean, to
yeah.
the club. Now, am I to take it that because there was so much damage, they closed Punta Cana?
They did. Yes. Yeah, there was a lot of damage. So we were all sort of flown home at different times. And so I don't know what happened to many of my geo friends and the rest of the team. We were all just sort of scattered and sent back home.
Well, I'm kind of happy for you got sent back home, and I'm a little irked because I went through 5 hurricanes. I never got sent home once. So,
Really?
well, yes,
Oh
we
my
had to stay behind and clean up.
gosh.
No,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. So I'm like,
Oh.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous that you got to go home. So you go home. I guess start of the new year. Did someone propose to you Paradise Island? Like what happened?
It was so no, actually, I I wasn't sure about returning at that time, and I decided to get back to working in Ottawa for a while. And in that time, I and my young, maybe 20-year-old self fell in love with an English boy, and I bought a one-way ticket to move to Manchester in the UK.
Oh,
And yeah, and when that didn't work out as as I had hoped at that time, I came back to Canada and thought, maybe this is a sign to go back to Club Med. And that's when I was sent to Paradise Island.
okay. And there you find out you're going to be a reception geo.
Reception Geo, yes.
Okay, but again, something happened on your first day in paradise. You broke something, right?
I broke something.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
I did my first full day there and, learned the reception duties on my first day. And then that night, we were told to prepare because Hurricane Floyd was coming.
Oh boy.
And yeah, so I mean, what does one do in a hurricane? I was offered to help to handle the little relief packages to the GM rooms with the sandwiches and extra water. And so of course I put on my high heels and my best outfit, and the hurricane winds were picking up a little bit, and I fell down and landed on my elbow, and I broke my elbow.
When you fell on your elbow, did you know it was broken right away?
No, I had no idea. It was quite a scene, I can imagine, because some of my fellow geos helped to pick me up, and I was just sort of holding my limp arm, and they walked me to the nightclub because we thought we better find our chief of village
And have a
and
drink.
and have a drink,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember who the chief was in paradise? I know you're only there for a day,
Yes.
but who was it?
No, that was Steve Riley.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you find Steve in the nightclub?
I did, and that was the first time I met him.
Oh boy.
Was Steve.
First time you meet your chief and you have a broken elbow.
Yeah, and I was there were tears rolling down my face, and Bailamos was playing, and he had been dancing, and he's like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you," and I was like, "I hurt myself," and yeah,
Do something.
was yeah. Come on, you're a chief of village.
So hurricane's coming. Hurricane Floyd's coming. You have a
Yes.
broken elbow. Do you have to go to a hospital in Nassau now? Or?
Yeah, so I couldn't because of the hurricane approaching. So we went to the nurse, and he made a sling for me and gave me some medicine to take, and said, best thing you can do is just try to be as still as you can. Don't try to move your arm, and we have to wait for this hurricane to be over, and then we'll get you checked out. So I think it was about a day or two later that I was sent off to the hospital in Nassau, and they took a look and they said, this thing it's broken, and you need to get home very quickly, because if you don't, the bones will set in the wrong position. And so you need to go back to Canada.
What could they not have put you in a cast there?
They did. They put me in some kind
Okay.
of cast, but I had to have surgery. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so they said we could do that there, but I think the cost was quite
Oh,
high.
okay. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. All right. Not much luck. Your first two seasons. Okay.
No,
All right.
it's so sad.
So, all right. So you go home to, I guess it takes about 6 months to heal from this, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, I still have the scar. I called it my Pink Floyd, and it took a while. I did some physio, and again I thought maybe Club Med is just not for me, because I keep
Yeah, because of all the
like
hurricanes. Yeah.
all these hurricanes and broken elbow. It's like, is the universe telling me something? But then I got a call, and they said, "What do you think of working in Martinique?" And so I said, yeah, sure.
As reception.
as reception.
Okay, well let's just long story short, like how many months did you? Okay, because I think something happened. I get at Martinique. Okay, so well, let's not spoil it yet. So from the how long were you at Martinique before you had to leave?
Yeah. So
A couple of
thankfully,
months.
I think I was there for maybe 2 months.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Oh,
That's it's better than the
yeah,
2 weeks in Punta, the one day in paradise.
exactly. Exactly.
Now, Martinique,
Yeah.
what did you think of that place?
Oh my gosh, I loved it. It was so beautiful. It was extraordinary. It was one of the most beautiful villages I've ever seen. I loved it. It was very pretty. I couldn't understand what anybody was saying, but I really loved
Okay,
the
so
village.
your French probably was a little so-so. Is that
Comme ci, comme ça.
okay?
Yeah.
And because of the come see come sa, okay, so at least if you had to leave, it wasn't because of a hurricane and you didn't break anything this time.
No, that's
So
right.
who did someone tell you that maybe your French wasn't that good and you should try another village? How
I
did you
think
who had this conversation with you? Was it the chief of village?
it was no, I don't think it was him. I think that so probably my chief of reception was noticing that people would call asking for whatever it was, and
Mm-hmm.
I would just say "Garde la ligne," and then I'd just
Okay.
hang up.
Oh, I thought you were going to transfer the call to a French
I
speaking person. Okay.
was
So you said hold the phone one moment and then you
panicking.
promptly hung up on them. Okay, got
And
it.
then I'd hang up on them. And then if somebody came to the desk, I'd just, sort of smile and
Then you would
say
duck
yes.
down, roll on the floor, and get out of
Exactly.
there.
I
Okay.
just quietly walk away backwards and hope that they didn't notice me.
Who was your chief of village in Martinique in
That was
2000?
yeah, that was Patrick Serra.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, he
Very
was
good
lovely.
dancer. Yeah, very good dancer
Yeah,
too. Yeah, he was
yeah.
my chief of sport in Playa Blanca. All right.
Okay.
So I guess your chief of reception contacts the Miami office, and then they suggest a transfer
And they suggested a transfer. So yeah. Sorry, they
to
had
well,
me.
it's not a bad
Yeah.
transfer because you go from
No,
Martinique to
no.
Turks and Caicos, right?
Martinique to Turks and Caicos. So I flew. I had a nice little layover in Saint Lucia, and then I arrived in Turks and Caicos. Yeah.
Okay, and you're doing now. You go from reception to boutique.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now do you have any? Since you're in Turks and Caicos, I have to ask you: do you have any JoJo stories?
Yes, I do. I
Sweet,
have two JoJo
let's
stories.
hear them.
Oh, JoJo, oh, JoJo. One of them was the first time I met Jojo, my friend Valerie, who worked with me in the boutique. She and I had some snorkel equipment and we went with, I can't remember, there was somebody else, probably from the diving team. And we just went off the diving dock and we were swimming around because I guess somebody had seen Jojo there earlier. And we we'd snorkel under the water and Jojo came around to us and he kept coming up to me and bumping into me and then sort of looking at me as though to see if I'd respond. And it was just amazing. We played together. It was crazy. And it was one of the most beautiful things.
And what was the other story?
The other one, I saw him again when I went scuba diving. I got my certification in Turks and Caicos, and I saw him scuba diving once, and he did it again. He just kind of bumped into me a little bit, and then it was like he was standing up, on his tail,
Yeah.
and he was just looking to engage. It was amazing.
Well, they
Yeah.
said JoJo likes blondes, right? I
That's
mean, because
what
I was
I heard.
I was blonde too, and he did the same thing. That he goes like completely vertical,
Yes.
and you're saying I've never seen a dolphin do this underwater, go vertical, right? I mean,
Oh,
and
amazing.
and
Oh,
who was your chief in Turks?
so that year it was Jean-Marc.
Jean-Marc Desi.
Yes, Jean-Marc
Okay,
Desi.
all
Yes.
right. Now, did you like the village of Turks and Caicos?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. It was a huge change from what I'd experienced in my slightly longer time in
Yeah,
Martinique.
no more. You
Uh,
didn't have to do garde la ligne in Turks, right? I mean,
yeah,
like
exactly.
when the phone rang, someone was English on the other end, right?
That's right. And I was in the boutique, so it didn't even matter. Um, it was, but it was different because, it was just, I remember the New York charters that were coming in, and it was so much louder and much more exciting than Martinique, but it was wonderful. Yeah.
Do you have any funny stories from Turks?
Oh, I
I mean,
I probably have all kinds. I can't think of
uh,
anything
no
from that
problem, no
season,
problem. We
but
can go. It can be any. It can be from any season too. If ever you have you remember something, just stop me and say, "Hey, Greg. Oh, I do remember this story. It's
yeah,
no problem at
yeah.
all." Now, how long did you spend at Turks? Roughly 5 months?
Oh,
4 months?
I think it was maybe 6 or 7 months.
Oh, wow. So that's your
Um,
longest time ever.
yes, and we did have a hurricane there at one
You
point.
did?
And
Oh boy.
yes, and I remember telling somebody, and then that's when Hurricane Anna became my nickname, and people were saying, "Did you bring this hurricane?" But it was very minor. We did nothing happened to the village. We were fine.
Were you allowed to put Hurricane Anna on your badge?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I
Now we're
had that on my badge for a little while.
now were guys afraid of you? Because if I was a guy and I saw Hurricane Anna, I'd be like, oh, I'm not going over. Okay.
I I mean, I think that they were afraid of me just because, I'm like this very tall, crazy, blonde,
How how
whatever,
how tall are you?
about 5'10" and
Oh, okay. All
yeah.
right. Okay. So
So,
when you were in heels and then
oh,
you fell down a pretty
yeah,
like 6 feet down, I'm guessing.
exactly. It's a long way down. It's
Okay.
you all look like ants from up here.
Okay. And I guess did you prefer the boutique or reception?
Oh, boutique,
Boutique.
definitely. And I had a chief of boutique at that time. Her name was Coco. Coco Sansal, I think. Sansal, I think I'm saying it properly. Sorry, Coco. She was wonderful. She was so much fun. She just really made that season wonderful for me.
I think I've heard of Coco before. Yeah. Was
Yeah.
she from France?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, all
Hmm.
right. Nice. Now, when your season ends in Turks, I guess there's no like break now. Do you immediately
Oh.
ask to go somewhere else, or do they propose to you your next village?
I actually took some time
You
after
did?
that, and I did, and
What
I
did you
didn't,
do?
I don't know why. I thought about going back to school,
Hmm.
and I really thought this is what I need to do, and it's time, and I ended up not doing that. And no, I did makeup at Christian Dior for the
Hmm.
one of the little makeup counters,
Okay.
and I was having a great time, but the Club Med, my need to
Let,
return
let me
came
guess.
back.
It was winter in Ottawa. Snow was on the
Yes,
ground, and you're like, I could just call someone right now and be on the beach, right?
actually, that's true. It
Yes.
winter hit, and I was kind of like, I don't know. Do I need to go back to school right now? No, we
No,
can wait till summer.
exactly. So you called them?
I called them. Yeah, I
And you
called
got
them.
lucky because I see they proposed Playa Blanca to you, right?
Oh,
In
yes.
2001. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was at Playa also. So, did you like Playa Blanca?
Yes, that was my favorite village. Yeah. I loved it. I don't know what it was. It was magic. Did you feel like that too?
Well, yeah, it did. It did have a certain like it's probably the most unique village, right? Because
Oh,
it's so in a way it's so tiny but in compact, and everything is
hmm.
centralized, right? So everyone is always together. The
Yes.
bars right by the pool, the boutiques over there,
Oh,
everything is in within reach. So I think that's what makes it so special, right? I mean,
yeah.
you had that nice little, you have the theater, and then right next to the theater, you had that circular place where the circus, like the amphitheater where the circus
Yes.
goes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
no, I think everyone has a special time at Playa Blanca,
oh, I
and you
loved
were
it.
there in 2001. Were you there
Yes.
for the whole full season?
No, I was there until we closed. Actually, when we closed the village, I think that was I want to say that was in May, I
Yeah,
think.
it's around
Yeah,
there because of
yeah,
the rainy season.
that's right. And I think when they closed the doors that time, I think that was the final time they ever had been open. That was their last season.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I believe so. Yeah. So
Okay.
so yeah, I'd see there until the end of that season, and I was very, very sad to leave, but it was
No,
incredible.
no hurricanes there, I'm guessing, right?
No,
This is
no,
your first village without a hurricane. That's good.
but yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Okay.
no, Martinique didn't have one. I
Oh,
was
did
the
it?
hurricane. I
Oh,
am the
okay.
danger.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. My garde la ligne is gonna get you. Okay. Which means, yeah, in case you don't know, garde la ligne, everyone just means hold, please. Yeah. Okay. All right. Playa Boutique, and then I see you go back to Turks, but this time as
Mhm.
Excursions Discovery Center. What is the
Oh,
Discovery
yeah.
Center? What is that?
So the Discovery Center takes people on local tours and just know a little bit outside of the resort. It's all organized tours with all different kinds of suppliers. So in Turks, it was things that like we had cave discovery, island trips to Iguana Island, of course, what was then known as the booze cruise,
Yeah.
all all sorts of different tours.
Okay. Now, but wait, before
Yeah,
we go on, I see that you were at Turks in 2002. So did you take another break?
I did. I
Okay,
did.
now don't say anything yet. Okay, at one point you do have something that you did. I want to talk to you about something about going to a small island to work. Was this
Yeah.
at any time during your Club Med career, or was this after?
This was during my Club Med career. Yeah, that was between Playa Blanca
Yes.
and Turks.
Okay,
Round
so
two.
okay, let's just tell people what happened. So basically this island was only 3 miles by a mile and a half wide. So did
Yes.
you see like an ad in the paper? Were they trying to get people to live on the island and pay you? Like what was the deal?
I think I found it by looking at I have British citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I thought, well, I didn't love living in Manchester. It just wasn't for me. But I thought, oh, this little island, it was a little inn. And I thought maybe they're looking for someone to spice things up.
Now where was this island? Was it in England?
Yes, it's in the English Channel.
What's the name of
It's
it? Do you know?
yes, it's called Sark.
How do you
Sark.
S-A
RK.
Sark? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Never heard of it. All right.
Yes.
Go on, please.
No, so I thought, I had been talking to a friend of mine from Playa Blanca, and she was thinking to move to London. And I said, maybe I need to try something different and something peaceful and completely different because why not? I'll go one extreme to the other. And so I put in a resume, and the owner of this little inn replied to me and said, okay, can you be here at this date? And I said, sure, of course. I didn't do a lot of research. I
Okay.
just
Uh,
went.
yes. And what happened that made you think, you know what, Anna, I should have did some research. What
Yeah.
what what happened?
Yeah. So being me,
Okay.
I arrived, I had to fly to London and London to Guernsey, which is one of the bigger Channel Islands, and took a ferry into Sark. And I had my luggage and my little purse and my big high
You
heels
know
on.
what? This sounds like the start of a romantic comedy,
It,
like in
it,
these movies.
except
Okay.
there was no romance.
There was
But
no
yes,
miss.
there
So
was
you didn't
no
meet Mr. Right. You didn't meet
Oh gosh.
the hunky English farmer whose wife just passed away, and he's got two kids. So this didn't happen, right? Okay.
No, and
Damn
the
it.
funniest, well, not funny, but the
Okay.
saddest thing was it was in the height of this foot and mouth crisis in England. So the fields were all you had to step in disinfectant from one side of the footpath to another. And
What is foot and mouth disease? I never really knew it.
or I
How
don't
do you
really
get that? Is that
know.
from cows? What is
It's
that?
from cows.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't really
Okay.
know.
Just okay. No, I thought it had something to do with cows. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
So how do
Yeah.
you disinfect your feet? You got to stand in a tub of disinfectant or something?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And see, I hadn't done my research. I didn't realize that Sark had no cars. There are no cars on the island, bicycles only.
No
And
cars.
no cars. And the for anybody who's been to Sark would know when you arrive at the harbor,
I don't think
there's a
anyone's been to Sark except you, Anna, listening to this right now. But yes, okay, sorry, go on. Okay.
it's very pretty. I recommend it.
Okay.
Just wear walking shoes. There's a big sort of cliff, and there's a tractor that takes people up the cliff. But I didn't know that tractor was for people off the ferry, so I had to walk up the cliff in my high heels, and all the way to the hotel, asking people along these dirt roads, where is this hotel located, and stepping in disinfectant on my way.
Okay. I swear to
Yeah.
God, this sounds like a romantic comedy about to happen here. Okay. And please say you were carrying a Louis Vuitton luggage with you as
Yeah.
well. Okay.
Well, close.
Louis.
Yeah,
Okay.
enough.
All right. Okay. But then long story short, this part, you realize it's not for you. You stay about a month
Yeah.
and then you move to London
Mm-hmm.
in the ghetto in a 2-bedroom flat with 5 girls. And you said that was the best time of your life.
It was. Did I say that?
No,
I don't
no, you
know.
did. Well, look, after what happened, like, you arrive on this island in high heels again. You got
Yes.
foot and mouth disease. There's no cars. So I would assume, yes, going to London and partying it
Like,
up with five female flatmates must have been fun. No?
it was interesting. Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Wait.
really, really
We
interesting.
went from fun to interesting. Okay. All right. And then, okay, we won't go there. And then you said, you know what? Okay, I missed the beach. They send you to Turks in 2002 excursions.
Yes.
Who was the chief in 2002?
So it started off, it was Handel when I
Ah,
arrived.
Handel. Okay.
Handel,
Yes.
Handel,
Big. If you can't finish this sentence, if you can't handle it, what do you
handle
handle it? Okay.
it.
Did you handle it that season?
Oh,
Okay.
he was wonderful. He wasn't for the whole season. He left
Mm-hmm.
probably because of me.
Okay. Hurricane Anna. Yeah. Hurricane Anna's coming. We gotta go.
And then we had Joey and Paul Langus, Joey Templin.
Ah,
Um,
Joey from Australia.
Joey, yes,
Okay.
and Paul Langus, and then it was just Joey.
It was Joey Templin that started calling you Rubia on stage. Is that right?
Yes,
Rubia,
Joey.
La Rubia.
Rubia,
Means blonde, right? I guess.
blonde. That's
Okay.
right.
All right. And
Yes,
how was Joey?
amazing. I love Joey so very much. He was just one of the most wonderful, very funny, and extraordinarily kind people I think I've probably ever met, like anywhere. He's wonderful.
Okay.
Joey!
Joey,
Yay!
I hope he's
Yay,
listening.
Joey!
Yeah, his name comes up a lot here.
Oh, really?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess I'm not surprised. Yeah, Joey is great.
Now, so he calls you this on stage. Now, were you always a good dancer, Anna?
No, no,
What?
no.
With a
Oh, poor.
tall person like you? You were probably actually, wait a
Oh,
minute, because you're tall, they probably stuck you in the back row, I'm guessing.
I was in the
Actually,
back row a
do they do
lot.
that? Do they do that for the women? Because I was always stuck in the back row, but I don't think
Yeah,
did they do that for a
I
tall, beautiful woman?
I think I was in the back a lot.
Oh, really? Okay,
I
right by
don't think it was just
by
my
the curtain.
height. Yeah,
Okay.
somewhere way back. Jennifer Simmons. I don't know if you
Mhm.
know Jennifer.
I know the name. Yes,
Oh,
she's
she's
a choreographer.
choreographer, beautiful girl, long blonde hair. Just, everybody loved Jennifer. And poor Jennifer would put me in these shows. I don't know why, because I would mess up all her choreography all the time.
Okay.
I'm
But you seem
sorry.
to, I think they would put you in shows where, because you probably you look very much the type that would look good in feathers, for
Yes,
those
I
Parisian
am.
shows, looking
Yes.
very graceful and regal. And then, but then when you had to do a pas de bourrée or a, or a kick step, something must have happened. I'm guessing. Okay.
I just leave.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot the choreography. Was it a kick step or was it a pas de bourrée? I'm not sure. I'm just going to go backstage for a second.
Exactly.
Check my notes. Okay. Okay. All right. And then you suddenly found yourself in a lot of comedy numbers, not so much dancing, right? Okay.
Probably, guys.
Okay.
Probably.
Now, did any thing go wrong on any of your excursions? Like, sure, I
Oh.
like when things go right, but did you ever have an excursion where nothing was going right? Did that ever happen? Or
Um, there was, I hope this is okay to tell you.
yeah, just leave out the names and nationality. That's fine. Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's so I think this was before Joey. I think by the time Joey arrived.
Well, you don't have to say you don't even have to say who the chief was. Put it that way.
Right.
We won't say who it was, the chief. Just
No. Yeah, okay. It's no, it's I think definitely at some point in my tenure in that season in Turks, we changed the name of the booze cruise to to the singles mingles cruise.
okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Because Turks is predominantly a singles village, right? So
it's exactly.
that makes sense.
But the reason it stopped being called a booze cruise was because of me. Not I was not drinking.
Yes.
But I think that people had just a really great time.
Okay. So you would go on this cruise?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
but are you saying like there was too much fun being had?
I think there was probably a little bit too much booze in
Oh, I
not
got
enough
it.
cruise.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
All right. So the boat never left the dock. Okay. Because the
Yeah,
drink
it was
started flowing. Okay. So then people would come back very happy. Okay.
very happy.
All right. So they
Yeah.
change it to the singles mingle. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. All right, but you never had okay, so but you never all the excursions went off smoothly. You never had a problem with any of them.
No, I can't remember one that was not in Turks. We didn't. No.
Okay. So are you talking about the Ixtapa then?
Yeah, a
Because
little bit.
I see you go to Ixtapa for the 2002-2003 season. Now, is this the first time you don't take a break in between villages?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is because and I went there because Joey said, "Why don't you join our team in Ixtapa?" And I was like, "Well, obviously." I mean,
I'm La Rubia. I have to go. Okay. Who else is going to lead these shows? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Jennifer?
You need me for choreography.
Yeah. I'll take Jennifer's place. No worries. And 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
All right. And then you go to Ixtapa, first time in Ixtapa, Mexico, right?
Yes.
Big family village.
Big family village. Yeah. Very big change. Very big change from Turks and Caicos.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I hear. It's a monster family village.
Yeah.
I forget how many people can fit. Is it like 1,200 or more?
I think 1,200, maybe 1,000.
Okay.
Maybe 1,200. Yeah, it was definitely a big village and a huge change, and it was amazing.
And your times doing excursions, did you ever have do you have a favorite dumb question from a GM, like that a GM asked you about excursion?
I had yes.
Like what?
So we had the swimming with dolphins excursion, and people would, ask me, well, will the dolphin kiss me, for example, or I don't. Okay. I can't guarantee what the dolphins will do at any point in time. It was a lot of things. I had a Zihuatanejo by boat, and people said, well, can we do that excursion but not on the boat?
Okay. All right.
You just do Zihuatanejo then.
Will the swimming with dolphins be in the water? Or...
Yes, exactly. Okay. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Do the dolphins bite?
Will the dolphin kiss me? Well, okay.
I don't know.
If you buy him a nice present.
Yeah, exactly. Take him to dinner first.
Yeah, exactly. Boy. All right. Wow. Okay. And at one point, like, did you stay? Did you stay 2 seasons in Ixtapa?
I did. Yes,
Okay. Then you
I
become chief of excursions there, right?
I did.
Whoa. Did you have to do a
Yes.
stage for that, or you were just promoted inside
Oh, I
immediately?
yeah, it actually happened literally overnight. I was called down to the bar because I mean, where else will you go? At some point late at night, and I was told, okay, so tomorrow morning you're gonna be taking over the excursions, and there will be people to help you along the way, and just you've got this.
Okay.
So it
You're like,
was
okay.
a good way to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Just throw you into the deep end, right? And then,
Yeah.
okay. And how was that experience? Did you like it?
I loved it, but the first little while was really, really scary and just really I encountered a lot of resistance
Mhm.
from some of my suppliers for the excursions. For example, it was a challenging start, but we got there.
Well, what kind of excursions were there in Ixtapa? Like, was it the dolphins and the Zihuatanejo? What were there a lot of
Yes.
like how many different excursions were there? Do you
Ooh,
know? 10
I
or more?
think probably about 10.
Okay.
Yeah, probably about 10. And I should say my suppliers themselves were wonderful. I made a mistake of, for example, there was a rule that was sort of an unwritten rule, an understanding that if we had a certain amount of people, we would send them back in taxis and instead of a bus, renting a bus. And I sent them back in taxis, even though we were one under or over, I can't remember what it was. And the taxi company was pretty cross at me.
Okay. They can't be cross at La Rubia. Come on.
Yeah, it was like, people were kind of not sure who is this girl and how is she going to do our business? They all had to protect their own businesses too. So, you know, it was an interesting start for sure.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned when we were talking about your first season, you mentioned FedEx, right?
Yes,
So
yeah.
so you and I are from that time period.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
is it like you would get your plane tickets from FedEx? So has it ever happened like you're driving around your neighborhood and you see a FedEx truck? Do you think your plane tickets are coming to you? Because I still do this.
Oh, I do actually
Like,
sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I think about that, or yeah, there are little things that happen, and I'm kind of like, oh, I remember those days of preparing,
mhm.
and oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
getting all your red and black clothes together, your blue and white
exactly,
clothes. Yeah, you don't know how to dress
exactly.
anymore in the real world. What dress code is it?
Yeah,
What do you mean, what
it's the
dress code is it?
program.
It's Thursday night. We dress how you
Yeah,
want. Okay.
that's
All right.
it.
Let's try some rapid fire questions here. You ready?
Okay, okay.
Favorite crazy sign or top 3 crazy signs? You have any?
Oh, ice cream. Oh, what's that one? Tomake
Mm-hmm.
and I guess I don't
I don't
know.
know that
Look,
one.
wait,
How many
wait.
R's? How many R's? And okay. Well,
The
wait. What? How
kind
does
of thing.
how does ice cream start again? I remember the title. I don't know how does it start or what's the
It's like,
chorus?
ooh,
Spanish?
ooh, just slide a little. Ooh, ooh, just
Oh yeah,
slide a little. Remember
yeah.
that one?
Okay, okay.
I
Yeah, yeah,
loved that crazy sign. It was so joyful. I
yeah.
loved it.
Do you have a favorite like animation passage that an animator did in any season? Like, do you recall
Yes.
one where okay, that's funny? And what was the passage? Do you recall?
Oh, I remember that. That I got an instant visual in my head when I thought about it.
Mhm,
In Playa Blanca, the animator his name is Francesco Friccioni. I'm sorry if I'm
mhm.
saying it improperly. And he was hilarious. He was just incredible. And he had a passage in the restaurant that he'd line up with the restaurant hostesses, dressed as a hostess, wig and all, the little dress, and he'd take people to their tables, and then he'd just run off, so they had no idea where to sit or what was going on,
Oh,
and they
okay, I've never no, I've never seen that one before. That's pretty good. Okay.
Very
So
funny.
as they were walking, then he would just take off. And
He'd,
so, okay.
he'd just take off. Or then he'd come back through the restaurant carrying a massive tray of cutlery, and he'd just take this really dramatic fall, and the cutlery would go all over the place. And
Okay.
he was he was a very funny guy.
All right. Let's just I have one question, but then I want to go back to Club Med. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Because I think you wrote that you are starting to launch your own fitness business, correct?
Yes,
And
and
it's
everybody
based,
needs to join it.
yes, and it's okay. It's based on player and performance. So if you could just tell me briefly, like what is it? What do you do?
Thank you. So, it's actually very heavily inspired by Club Med. Play Joyful Fitness. It's fitness, but with a very playful twist. My classes, even my personal training style, it's not a typical fitness
So you're
program.
not screaming at us, I guess, to do more reps, right? I'm guessing.
Exactly. I don't
Okay.
like that style. It's
Okay.
all about music and joy and fun and the joy of moving your body in ways that feel good to you and in any given moment. So Club Med was one of the big heavy influences for me to create play, as well as having children too.
Now, is this in person or is it by Zoom? Like, how do you do this?
It's online, actually.
Okay.
I start on October 3rd. I'm finally starting regular classes, and they'll be at lunchtime. They're lunchtime express classes, so people can opt in, and it's 20 minutes of something kind of high impact class, and then a 20-minute class that's a little more chill.
Okay.
Um, every day in October, online.
For
Yeah.
the high impact class, do you play Tomoke?
I might.
Okay, I might. You hear that, people? If we get enough, if we get enough people there, Anna will do
Yes.
Tomoke.
Okay.
Okay.
I want an XGO class. Like,
Okay.
oh, amazing. We'll just do crazy science.
Hey, why not? There's a lot of how many times did we sweat like for a half
Oh my
hour
gosh.
because on Elegant Night because the chief wanted to do the most high octane ones on Elegant Night,
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go, La Bonne Franquette for the 5th time. No, no, Bonne Franquette.
Oh my god. Oh, I remember so well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so all right, so this will air. Okay, well, we'll definitely put the link to that. Okay, in your episode
Awesome.
description, so people will know where to go. So no worries there. In addition to Joey, like Templin, were there any other employees or managers like
Oh,
that you liked working with that you'd like to mention?
I want to mention, there's so many people. I feel like this is like that Emmy speech and the music's gonna come on.
Well, we do have a safe word. So if you go on for too long, I'll start
Oh,
typing it. But no,
yeah.
go ahead. And
Yeah.
you don't have to give 5-minute biographical details, everyone. But
No.
just you can just
Yeah.
name them if you wish.
Yes, there are some people in my times there that really, really impacted my whole life. Like, I just have so much incredible love for. The first one is a really great friend of mine called Lynn Johnston. I'm sure you've got
Yes,
Lynn.
I love Lynn. Yeah, I
I
did
love
my
Lynn
first
so much.
season. Lynn was in
Oh,
Traffic Geo, right?
yes,
Or yeah,
traffic.
Responsab Traffic. Yes,
Yes, I adore her.
me
She's
too.
just one of the most there's just nobody like I can't even describe it. She is incredible. And also there are just so many people, but Dory Mendoza, now she used to be Dory Flynn. Now she's Dory Mendoza since, I don't know, long time. Dory and Christian. Dory was somebody I really looked up to. She was just always her smile was just, it lit up everything. Everybody would be happy around Dory. She was wonderful. Obviously, Joey. Oh, everybody from Ixtapa that season. There's Monique and Maria and Paco and Gigi. There are so many people I just loved in my time there, and that I still really adore to this day.
What are the 3 things you miss the most about Club Med?
Oh, only three. I'd say,
Well, yeah, I know you probably have
yeah.
more, but keep it to your top 3. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say really the community, like that sense of family and togetherness was really, really, really special. And it's hard to find that kind of closeness with people in the real world. So that would be the thing I miss the most. I miss diving in Turks. Probably that would be up there with Jojo, and just the peace that comes from being under the ocean and being in these beautiful places was incredible. And I think otherwise it's just there was always something to look forward to. There was always something new and different happening, and that sort of sense, I guess, of excitement, like what's going to happen now, was really interesting and so fun. I was always on my toes, and I
Okay.
like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great answers.
Mm.
Now, you might have already answered this next question, but I'll ask it again anyway. Of all your seasons, okay, because you did
Mm.
use the word magical. Was it Playa Blanca, the magical season?
Yeah, Playa Blanca was magical. It was just the best. It was just perfect. I loved that village. I don't know, it had some kind of charm. It was
Yeah,
really
and plus, I
wonderful.
don't know if they did it when you were there, but when Wednesday was usually like the big like Mexico Day where the mariachi would come in. And did you guys
Yes.
have a like a picnic on the
Yeah.
on the grass like every Wednesday?
Yes, yes, we did.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
friend Laura and I, and Christina and Laura and I would always sit, and it was beautiful. Yes, I remember that. Gosh, I'd forgotten about that.
Well, yeah, there's like so many cool things about Playa that you never experience somewhere else. Like what I
Yeah.
always come back to is there was this giant frog always in my shower. He was always in the corner. It was a very tiny shower, so I'm like 6'2". I look down and there's it's the biggest frog I've ever seen. And I put him outside, but somehow he got back in. Like I don't know how he got back in the room because
Oh my
frogs can't squeeze themselves to the size of a quarter. Anyway,
gosh.
she was always in the shower. Don't know why, but
Oh.
this is only in Playa. Okay, Playa is just one of those special places. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, before I let you go, because you've been so kind with your time, am I forgetting to ask you anything? If there's something you wanted to say, did you think of the
Oh.
story? Did we cover? I know we covered a lot. We
Oh
covered we
yeah.
covered all the hurricanes.
We covered all the
Okay.
hurricanes.
If you had something to say, please, be my guest.
Oh, I think the only thing I would say is I went to the reunion,
Oh, which one?
the Exio in Turks and Caicos in two, 20 what 2015 twenty
Okay.
fifteen.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you find that?
It was wonderful. It was so much fun. And when I was there, the first maybe 2 nights, I think I only knew two people at the reunion.
Really?
And yeah, and I was kind of feeling, and I'd been kind of having a sad year all around. It was a really weird year. And I remember getting there and thinking, oh, maybe this was a mistake and I shouldn't have come to this. I don't even know these people. And by the end of the week, I had met some people like that have just become so special to me. And I'm sharing in their stories and their lives, XGOs that I hadn't ever, met before. And it just goes to show, like the Club Med family, they're just a special brand.
Yes. Well, yeah, exactly.
It's,
And like
oh,
you and I have, even though we've never met, you and I have
yeah.
48 mutual friends,
Yeah,
right?
I know,
So
it's crazy, right?
you probably
Yeah,
you probably met most of them like on in 2015 at that reunion, people that
exactly.
you might have heard about but never met.
That never met. Yeah,
And
yeah.
this was in Turks, you said, right? In
It was in
2015.
Turks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And
it's kind of nice going back as a GM and not a GO, right? You didn't have to
oh
work.
yeah. It was great. It was so different. I got called on stage to be a Spice Girl, and I
Oh,
felt
please say you were
so.
baby spice.
No, I wasn't.
What?
That's who I'd probably identify with.
Well, yeah, I could see that hair and pigtails. Come on, then who were you? Posh.
Really?
You were sporty.
I was Ginger.
Oh,
I
Ginger.
was Ginger
Yes.
Spice.
Okay.
And it's so funny because I remember being backstage and all the GOs were just coming and going, and it was very relaxed. And I was nervous. And I never remember being nervous like this, when I was working. But as a GM, I was on the other side. It was really strange. Yeah.
Well, the strange is how come you were Ginger and not Baby Spice? Even
I know.
I was Baby Spice. I used to do that song for his GM shows. I would get me and 4 other girls, but I would be Baby Spice.
Oh my God,
Okay.
amazing. I need to see that.
Okay. I think the negatives are out there somewhere.
Exactly.
Well, Anna, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story with us here today. I really do thank you. This has been awesome.
Thank you. It's been so fun.
Yeah. Well, everyone, that was Anna Ferdinand, aka Rubia, and we will see you all next week. Bye. Say bye, Anna.